to clarify some of those myths about teachers not making enough money. Yes, they do. So we just want to share that information with you so that you guys can start making those next plans, right? So real quickly before I move on to the presentation, we have an event coming up. We host this event every March. Super cool event. I was just telling your professor, I hope to see most of you there. We're going to feed you guys. It's going to happen March 19th. It's from 4 to 6. If you guys can make it for a little bit, I know a lot of the time students have classes in between, so it's hard to make some events. However, we're going to have different district partners there. We're going to have alumni that are currently in the classroom for all different areas, just to kind of give you some feedback so you can ask questions what their experience has been. So that if you're interested in pursuing the teaching field, you can get as much networking as possible. So we have really great partnerships with the district. So hopefully you guys can make it. He'll share the event and we'll feed you guys. There's going to be giveaways. So hopefully we can make it a really fun event for you guys. So anyway, back to the presentation. Thank you so much. So yes, we at the College of Education, we have the credential programs. Whether you're interested in being a multiple subject teacher, like in the elementary area, or if you plan on being high school teachers or PE teacher, we also have the single subject credential as well as the special education credential. At special ed, there's been a lot more funding available. So it just depends. Whenever there's grants available, we're definitely gonna try to shine a light on them so that you guys can take advantage of these things. But we'll continue. So so if you guys are thinking about becoming a teacher, you know, the first thing is kind of making that decision and making a plan for it. So if you guys, what are we, like second year? Okay, nice. Are you graduating?
The semester.
Amazing. So generally what we tell our students, if you make that commitment to be a teacher, I'm so excited for you because we know there's a direct path waiting for you. You know, as an advisor before, when I would talk to students about careers, it's always exciting when I know there's a job waiting for you, right? You just got to go through the motions, get all of that requirements out of the way. But it's awesome because, you know, big gross salary, right? That's how I like to think about it. Especially with you guys being so young, you can go right into it. So if you can go to the next one. Awesome. So we have, like I mentioned, elementary education. So for those that are wanting to be in a class with the younger kids, we have special education. And of course, we have the different areas. We have mild, moderate, extensive support needs, and early childhood. I'm gonna just do a little shout out for early childhood. There's a need for teachers there. And so recently we just got information about a new grant available. It's a 2-year program, tuition's covered, like it's amazing. So if you guys are interested, we can definitely kind of lead you to get the right information for any program you're interested in. But secondary, so that'd be the single subject credential, right? This is where you're teaching one subject all day. So kinesiology being one of those. And you know, I gotta give it to you guys because a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm gonna be a PE teacher, cool, easy peasy. It's probably one of the tougher ones because of the courses that you have to follow. So let's go ahead to the next one. Just so you have an idea, these are the different areas that you can teach in if you are a single subject teacher. So obviously we have a specialized track. So that's the kinesiology, physical education, adapted physical education concentration. So students in this specific path, you already met CSET exam, right? So that's one less requirement that you have to work on. We understand that students struggle a lot when it comes to testing, test anxiety. I'm just not a good test taker. We get it, right? We see it all the time. But students that are in a subject matter for what they plan on teaching in, right now we have a lot of waivers, right? So no CBEST. just the CSET. And if your major meets CSET, then you're good, no test. All right, let's continue. So our classes are offered in a hybrid format for the credential program. So let's say you start your credential program, you have your classes, the first week is in person, next week we're zooming in online, and so on and so forth. It's flexible, so we know you guys, nice to see you again. We know that that flexibility is really nice. I personally really love having the hybrid format. The program is considered full-time, okay? You guys understand our tuition structure, 0 to 6 units is part-time, 6.1 and above is full-time. So we're still on that structure, but now we're looking at that credential fee, right? It's a little higher than your undergrad. So we have student teaching versus intern track. So that's your option to choose, right? Some students say, you know what, I want to jump right in and be the instructor of record, while others are like, I'll hang back a little bit, slow it down. Let me get a lot of that support from the teacher in the classroom, right? So let's continue. So we have track A. This is just so you get a kind of a good idea of what to expect if you were to be in track A. Generally, no one's teaching that first term. Generally, you're teaching your last term, and you're supervised. There's a teacher of record supporting you. You have a teacher from our program that's doing site visits to see how you're doing, support you that way also. But this is the 2-term track, and this one is definitely full-time. You're going 15 to 15 units both terms. Let's go to the next one. So we have track B. This is the one that I kind of like a little better, just kind of based on seeing students and how they're going through the experience. It's heavier. Track A is heavier, right? Now with track B, we slow it down a little bit. So you're doing early field work in for semester 1 and 2, and by semester 3, you're in the classroom, right? Getting your hands-on experience there. So this is probably the most popular track that we have. I really appreciate this one because it depends on the individual student. You know, if you're in a rush to get in that classroom, sweet, go for it, right? We sacrifice for a little bit, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So these are some of the requirements for single subject. Like I mentioned, there's not that many exams, right? That's definitely changed over the years as we're trying to fill that need for teachers in the classroom. So we also have a bilingual authorization, should you want to pursue that. But most likely not. I mean, there's not a lot of situations where you're like, oh, I'm a PE teacher, but I'm going to be in Spanish, right? That would be more so for like our multiple subject teachers that maybe want to do like a dual language program. Right. So anyways, all we would require from you is an official transcripts, which you guys can download from your My Peyote. 2 recommenders. I like to clarify the recommender piece because we're not asking for full letters of recommendation. You know, I'm sure you get a lot of requests for letters of recommendation. So we've made it a little simpler for this program where we just ask for 2 recommenders. We're gonna, when you fill out your application, you're indicating their name, email, you're giving them a deadline. Can you please be a recommender for me? And it's a scale of 1 to 5. So it's very simple, it's quick, so that they can support you that way. And if you explain that ahead of time, they'll be more willing to say, yeah, of course I'll be a recommender. Now, we require a valid certificate of clearance, right? If you guys aren't familiar with this, that's okay. We offer info sessions where we go a little bit more in depth with this information, give you instructions, so you don't have to feel lost at all. You have to have a negative TB. So if anybody's in the classroom right now, maybe as a paraprofessional or anything like that, you know, you have to have that negative TB just to be in the classroom or working with children. And those are generally good for 4 years, okay? And of course, GPA 2.5 or above. And the credentials is one of those programs where if you simply meet the requirements, you're gonna get in, right? It's not like a master's program where they're very selective of who gets in. So let's go to the next slide. So can I get a raise of hands for those that are in the specialized teaching track for APE? So I got you. All right, nobody else?
There's a couple of them.
Okay. Well, if y'all change your mind at any point, it doesn't hurt. We also have an added physical education authorization that you guys can add on. It's not a requirement, but in this field, I would definitely try to get it personally. Why not? It's just a couple of extra classes. And so in order to be a part of this, we have Dr. O, who is the coordinator for this. You would simply follow the instructions so that you could add on that authorization. Okay. All right. And if you're curious, well, this presentation will be shared out with you guys so you guys can scan any of the QR codes embedded in here. I mentioned we also have bilingual authorization. Okay, I'm gonna go past this one. Because for the most part, I don't think we're gonna have Spanish PE classes, right? So we also have graduate degrees available. And we always like to push our teachers to continue with additional education and get that master's, right? Because the different districts, they have their pay scale. And the more units you have under your belt, the higher your salary. That's our goal. Let's get as high as we can. So generally, a lot of the students that finish our credential programs are like, yeah, I want to jump in on that master's. But the nice thing we have here, and I'm going to say this, we don't have many master's credential combined programs like you're going to find out at a lot of the private universities, but it's for a reason, right? When you're in a credential program, you're in that mid-level, it's like a 5th-year program, so tuition's still a little bit more affordable. Once you get to grad, it bumps up, right? So we have the nice thing with a lot of our graduate programs where they're willing to take 18 units from your credential and apply it towards your master's, leaving you with like 4 classes. That's a deal. And if you think about it, okay, if I'm left with just 4 classes for my graduate program, and I'm doing 2 classes per term, part-time, I'm paying the part-time fee, graduate. So you're saving a ton of money, okay? We also have a doctoral program for anybody that's interested in pursuing that education. All right. You guys are familiar with our tuition. So I mentioned part-time versus full-time. And in a credential program, you're at that mid-level fee schedule. So this is just it, so you can give yourself an idea for tuition. And of course, if we could skip to the next one, when it comes to aid, we still have financial aid available for you guys in the credential program. So like in your case, you're graduating. So I would say look into the Golden State Teacher Grant, right? Some of these grants give you up to $10,000. There's a service commitment that you have to follow up with once you start teaching. But as long as you meet that commitment, it was a grant, right? If you don't meet that requirement, then it turns into a loan, but it's still beneficial because they help support you through your program, okay? We still have available, and of course, this can be dependent on your current financial aid situation. Do you still have available funding? A lot of times students run out of it. Maybe they took longer at the community college or anything like that. But we have the State University Grant, Middle Class Scholarship, Pell Grant, and the Teach Grant. But Teach Grant is more so for those that are going to add on that bilingual authorization. Okay. For all the males in here, we have this amazing program. I love this program. It's called Project Impact, and this is to help get more males of color in the classroom, right? We need more representation. And so this program helps minority males, gives you, I think my favorite part of it is the mentoring, because they hook you up with another faculty member or somebody that's in the district to support you as you're going through your credential program. And it's not like, okay, I graduated, I'm done. No, they follow you to keep supporting you in this program. So we have tuition support, that's huge. They provide laptops, they provide application fees, tuition. It just depends on the individual situation. So you can't go wrong with this. We have Dr. Huff is the director and he is a champion for you guys. So if you think you're going to go into the educational field, consider joining this program. Yeah, it's really wonderful. So we'll go on to the next one. Application deadlines is for you, babe. So if you want to start fall of 26, April 10th, but we're gonna extend it to the 30th until it's posted. It's not official until we post it, okay? But my recommendation is get your application in before then. Sometimes you guys will hear credential students talking about the first, second, and third deadline. I don't really care about all that. We got rolling admission. So as long as you apply and you submit all of your materials, then you're gonna find out pretty quickly if you met all the requirements and that you're in the program, okay? Any students that get stuck on the application, we're there to support you. We offer drop-in hours. It's myself and my colleague Arturo. So if we're not picking up your phone calls, because we're really busy, but generally we will always get back to you. We have the drop-ins available. You can just jump in that Zoom and join us. It's on our website. And so we're here to support you, okay? As a first-gen college student, myself and Arturo, we feel really strongly about helping other first-gen students make that transition. Because if you haven't had a teacher in your family, it's all in you, right? And so we're happy to support you throughout that process. But you can connect with us any way that works for you. And we're here in the College of Education. So if you guys ever have questions, you're already here. Come on in, ring the little bell. I will say, we have a big lobby and it's kind of empty at the front, but I promise you there's a lot of people in the back working for you. So if you guys have any questions, come on down, okay? Now, I brought a few goodies, but I'm gonna make sure that my APE student gets one.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna leave them here. You guys are welcome to them. And again, my name is Olga, so feel free to ask us any questions you may have, okay? Do I have any questions? Anybody, just throw it out. Go for it.
I was wondering, I know you mentioned that you can get your credits transferred from your credential into your master's. And so is that master's supposed to be done after we get our credential?
Correct.
Oh.
So generally, when students are wrapping up their credential, like your last term, apply to your master's. That way we don't have a break. We just keep going. You'll break for summer, but you'll, it's back to back. So generally, students are applying their last term. So like in your case, you apply now to meet the April deadline, so you can start in fall. And then once you're wrapping up your credential that last term, apply to your master's. Yeah, but 4 more classes, I'll take it. Any other questions? Yes.
Can you give more information on the internship, how that works?
Yeah, so internship and student teaching, right? Internship, you're hopefully more familiar with being in the classroom because you're gonna jump right in usually. You have to have certain courses prior to getting cleared to go and have your intern letter saying, I'm ready to be hired. But generally with an internship, students find their own place of employment. So, if you guys are already working at the elementary schools, make sure you guys are connecting with the teachers, the principals, because if there's an opportunity and you already have experience there, they'd be like, hey, come on down. We have an opening, right? But generally with the internship, you find your own placement. Once you have that, you get it verified and approved, and you are the teacher of record. You have to do that for 2 terms. So for the whole academic year, like you're getting paid, right? You do your internship in the day, you're in the classroom in the day. In the evening, you come and do your classes. Either in person or on Zoom, right? So our programs all of our courses are held in the evenings so that students can continue working, do their hours, and then get in the classroom once you graduate. So that's the intern track. With the teaching track, you get more support. You have the teacher of record in the class with you. You do that for 1 term. Internship is 2 terms, but it's paid. Student teaching is not paid, but you could always apply for a grant through the Career Center. Right? They have like a $500 grant for internship. So there's a lot that you can take advantage of on campus. So it's all about like asking questions, speak to your advisors. They should be able to kind of guide you to get all of these resources. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, then I must have done a really good job.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Can I chime in?
Yes,
This is when I kind of step on your hopes and dreams a little bit. Okay, not a bad thing, not a bad thing, but being devil's advocate with this is a little bit of a good thing. How many guys want to be a PT? Or an OT? How many years of schooling is that? So if you look at kind of the benefit to cost, this is an avenue where you can get in and teach and get paid quickly. The nice thing about teaching is it is a lifelong career. By the very nature of kinesiology, even if you don't identify it, you are a teacher. You are an educator of the human body. So if you're not doing it in a classroom, you're doing it in some capacities. So having those experiences in a classroom setting, teaching, getting summers off, getting holidays off, you get retirements. My wife works at Richardson Prep. She worked with two physical education teachers. Anyone want to take a guess what they topped out at before they retired? 90K. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad considering you're going to go over $100,000 in debt just to get your DPT if you're going that route. Okay, so again, I'm trying to show that there's many ways to go about this. And there's lots of opportunities in a classroom setting. My wife is actually like the state coordinator and does all the testing now. She's not even in a classroom. And she's gone out and she's doing like some like vice principal stuff now. And I'm recording this, so you won't see it, but it's in her future. She's not admitting it yet. All right, so we have someone here. If you do have questions or even like backup plan.
absolutely.
This is a great career path.
This is an amazing backup plan
Yeah.
because like I mentioned, teachers are making good money and generally, like you mentioned, your wife, you start in the classroom, but then there's a opportunity to
They will
grow in a
they will
different
snatch
way.
you up. If you're good at what you do and you got leadership skills, it's gonna happen.
And just to kind of go with our programs, once you've been in the classroom and maybe you want to move into management, we have an administrative credential and a master's in administration. So there's always another avenue. You can always keep growing. Let me answer your question.
Do you know the start, like, the average salary?
No, I don't know the average salary. I've been in this role for a short time. But I have a lot of teacher friends and I can tell you they're doing really good. But it really just depends on the district where you apply to. The districts have different pay scales. So, that's definitely something you want to look into. And I mentioned the higher in units you are, the higher the salary. Okay, so that's the goal. I want to see everybody flourishing, right? All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Remember, we're literally across the way in College of Ed. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Give
Here you go, babe.
her
I sure will. You guys have a great one. Happy term.
right. We got a little bit of time left, so I do want to bring up things. Wait, you're not staying?
Thank you. Oh, no, sorry. Thank
You're not in. If you're just here for the talk, you guys can do that.
Thank you.
Were you able to make that change?
No, is this something I can talk about?
Yeah, I should be in the office
After
after this class. So